with great honor that I get my retirement speech. I might call it a forced retirement speech, but with my blood pressure have gone down now 20 degrees, I'm in really good shape, and I'm very grateful. So with that, speeches most of the time give some thank yous, and I want to make sure I thank some of the people that really came to mind. Certainly my bride at home, who I totally adore, Valerie. She has put up with me in the time I've been away, even though I know she really likes it when I'm away. As I was this weekend, and I come back and she's just more happy than ever when I'm gone. Not when I return necessarily. No, but really, my 8 children, Aaron, Jesse, Ann, Ellie, Joy, Tommy, Glory, and John. They're all wonderful kids we got to raise. For those of you who don't know, we homeschooled them all. And, my older 2 are lawyers. My youngest is off into Washington State, living out there right now, he just got out of graduation from college. So, and of course, I'm not going to name my 15 grandkids. Being here was absolutely an honor and privilege, and to work with all of you. And I'm looking at those of you even on the other side of the aisle. It actually was a privilege to work with you. Iron sharpens iron, and it was good. And I see those that are sitting here, including you, Senator Champion, down there over in the corner, trying to get some work done. It was an honor to be a part of this legislature for the last 10 years. But I would not want to, I can't say thank you to everyone, but I want to mention a few that come to name. Certainly, Senator Paul Gazelka has been my friend, comrade. We have office next to each other almost for the entire 10 years. And we had purpose for that, to encourage and support each other. I do see the old man here, Senator Limmer. Another one of the, I call great statesmen that isn't given enough credit for what he does around here. And then I want to go to, because I can't say everybody, it's just too many of even my colleagues on the Republican side. But I do want to say thank you to some of our staff, Mo, Rachel, Jimmy, some of my LAs, Jenna, Ryan, Judy, Carl, Brian and Craig and Bill, just some that come to mind, Stephen, that have helped me out because I needed a lot of help over the years. And a kid that grew up in the projects in southeast Minneapolis and then over by the airport, we moved around a lot with different fathers, and a lot of baggage in our home that we have to deal with, as I think many homes do. But I've seen over the years that I have had many people in my life that encouraged me in life. I think of a friend of mine, Gary Lewis, who ran our YMCA, who eventually I worked for as a YMCA director. Some of my coaches that were mentors for me, my hockey coach, Clayton Freeberg, Jack Osberg, my football coach. These are men that stood for what I would call faith, family, and freedom. I'm still on Facebook with these guys. And of course, those people in my church that said, we believe in you, and you're going to do something someday. And, well, maybe the Senate isn't doing something, but at least I gave it a try. But after 10 years, I also want to say thank you for those that challenged me. Senator Marty, you challenged me in life, and I appreciate that. Senator Pappas, it was a pleasure to get to know you. You were one of the people, if you remember, I was around here as a kind of an adjunct chaplain for a while. You were one of the people I thought, wow, I'll never like her. You're so easy to like. I've really enjoyed our conversations. I'm sorry Senator Dibble isn't here. He would be one of those that I would say I really enjoyed getting to know. We have differing opinions, but I appreciate getting to know him. The same thing I have down here for Senator Latz. Senator Cohen, thank you. You were a joy to listen to, hear some of the history that was going on. I think the greatest aspect of being a part of this is when we can be civil and ladies and gentlemen. And that's the thing. We differ, but we can be ladies and gentlemen about what we're doing as senators here for our great state. Because we all have, if you don't know, 4 of my kids are Democrats. I always tell them, what in the world, who is your father? How does this happen? But we have lots of conversations about the same goal, just a different way to manage. And of course, I'm always right. I'm kidding, of course. But you, on the other side of the aisle, had the grace you extended to me for the issues that were important to me. Thank you for allowing me to share my views on the national motto, "In God We Trust." We had a great conversation about that, and I appreciate that. Part of that was the separation of church and state. There's 2 ideologies on that, and I think that's good to bring them out. Thank you for allowing me to pray in Jesus' name as a free country and as religious freedom and speech. Some people don't like it, but they allowed me to do that because it's America, so thank you. Thank you for letting me try to make Dan Patch our state horse. I think we got everybody involved with that one. Nay, there were some of those, yes. It was a privilege to be able to talk to school groups here. And I usually talk to them about the things I believe in, which was work hard, play fair, do the right thing, and expect the best in life. And in so talking to them about that, I realized that's what they want to know about. They want to know what you believe. And so I explained what working hard was, what playing fair hard. I explained how you find out as a 5th grader what is the right thing to do. Talk to your parents, your teacher, your priest, your rabbi. Find out what the right thing is to do. Read things like what the founding fathers put out. Read things like the 10 Commandments. I remember the first time I said that, I thought, can I say that to a school group? And I found out later that one of the teachers came over to me privately and she said, you know what you shared with those kids? She said, I've been coming down here 26 years and I've never heard any senator say anything significant. Thank you, she said, for what you shared. They want to know what you believe in. So with that, I want to promise something to you. As I go out, I look back with just great feelings. I had 10 years of the hardest job I've ever had, but also honored to be a part of this group of men and women that challenge each other, have high standards in life. I even got to like Senator Osmek. I mean, not too many people get that honor. Roll call, yes. And of course, Karen and Housley and I think eye to eye on things so much that we don't need to talk to each other. We know what the other one thinks. And I could go around to everybody, Pratt the Rat, I call him all the time. And I hope that sticks too, Pratt the Rat. But to say, my promise to you is what I told my challenger, opponent in the race, Lindsey Port. I said, I will pray that God blesses you in your position. And I want to say that to the whole Senate. I'm going to pray that God blesses you as a senator, as a representative, because that is the greatest thing I think you can have, is knowing that what you're doing is all good, because good comes from God. And so I want you to know that not only but I will encourage the state of Minnesota to be praying for you. And I think it's important that we all stand up for the things we believe in. And you probably see me around once in a while because I've been told that once you're a senator, you're always a senator, I can come on the Senate floor. And so I may come over here once in a while just to bug you. Really, I won't be on you, Senator Marty. I'll just encourage you. So with that, what I really wanted to say was thank you. Thank you to our Sergeant-at-Arms, to our Secretary of the Senate, to our new President of the Senate, to our staff, and to my other legislative colleagues. Thank you very much. I'll give you